Hello! My name is Literary Haley, and I love to talk about books, specifically romance books, where audiobooks are my jam. Welcome to another weekly reading vlog. I'm so proud of myself because this is going to be the 4th week in a row that I've actually vlogged like reading week. I don't know. They say it takes 30 days to make something a habit, so hopefully this sticks on my channel. With that being said, we are 2 weeks into April and I have not read a single book on my physical TBR for this month. I did film a video of all of these books. I don't know which one I want to start with. I kind of want to start with a historical, like I'm in that mood. So I think I'm going to do one of these. I think I'm going to start with Goddess of the Hunt. Never mind on that. So these don't come out until the 14th. The audiobook won't be available. This I need to physically read because there's not an audiobook. This I need to annotate. This I don't have the audiobook for as of yet. And this one I also want to annotate. So I'm not going to read any of my physical books today. Last week I started Where We Started by Ashley Munoz. I'm 16% into that, so I'll finish that. And then I also finished When Love Awaits by Johanna Lindsey. A quick recap on this. The hero does not want to marry, neither does the heroine. However, the hero is out for revenge. He wants land, so he marries her. She doesn't want to marry it, like I said. She is beaten into submission. She marries him. He doesn't know throughout this whole book, literally, he doesn't find out until the end what happened to her prior to their wedding. In the very beginning of this, he has a mistress, but he only marries her for her land. He doesn't want anything to do with her. Well, push comes to shove. He finds out that she's beautiful. He has this weird like attraction to her, so he wants her and he keeps her, but he has to keep his mistress because guess what? His mistress is pregnant. Does she know that? No, the heroine does not know that. This whole time she tries to be like friendly, but she knows that this woman was his mistress and it's like shoved in her face every day and she doesn't want her to be there. He declines. It's a mess. That's basically the entirety of this book. I was so invested. I read this in like 2 days, I think, which is really crazy because for an eyeball read, it takes me so long to get through something. There was really nothing else happening, but I was just like, I needed to know what was going to happen with these two. Read one last week where it was like nothing happened until the very last few pages and then they finally fell in love. Like this one literally hangs you by the edge of your toe. Pretty solid read, and it's Johanna Lindsey, so I enjoyed it. I'm gonna do some cleaning and I'm going to continue listening to the audiobook for Where We Started. Good morning! I got me a Dutch Bros coffee. My usual order is a medium hot caramel latte made with oat milk and an extra shot of espresso. And I'm not gonna lie, after I have these, I feel like the Energizer Bunny, which is probably good because I feel like I have a lot that I want to get done today. I'm almost 60% into Where We Started by Ashley Munoz. I'm loving it. The tension is absolutely insane. The storyline is told in past and present, so we get a glimpse of them at their younger years, being in love and all that other stuff. The crazy thing though is that she has been wanting to get away from the motorcycle club because it's just really hindered her all of her life. She is like, if they ever ask you, please decline, like don't do it, please promise me that you won't do it. Well, he ends up doing it, of course, so that really pushed their relationship apart. The thing is that she doesn't know why he did it. It wasn't that he wanted to go back on his promise to her. It was more of like a safety kind of thing, but he won't tell her. So he's obviously stubborn in that. The tension is absolutely insane. I'm really liking it. However, Wild Love by Elsie Silver came out today, and I gotta read that today too. With that in mind, I'm going to jam down this coffee, feel like I'm going crazy, gonna clean up a little bit on the inside. I'm probably gonna go for a walk and listen to a book or two. I'm about 80% into Where We Started. I haven't started Wild Love by Elsie Silver. However, I'm in the mood to go to the bookstore. I have a few books in this box that need to go, which I exchange for credit, and I don't know, I just need like a little pick-me-up, if you will. I haven't been to the bookstore in a long time, so I need this. So I may have gotten some books. This local used bookstore, they have a section, it's a bargain section, and it's buy 5 books and get 5 free, and they're $1 each, which technically makes the books 50 cents if you get 10. However, the owner was there today, and she said, I will give you 20 for $5. And I said, okay, bet. And that's what I did. I only spent $20. A few of the other books were full price. The way that the full price books work is they're usually half off, like the sale price, but then I also had some credit. I just turned in books which I also, gave me more credit. So then usually it's like half the price off of the half price, if that makes sense. And there's not really a good place to put you, but I want to do like a rapid fire of all the books that I got. So The Temporary Wife, this was full price, in quotes. Southern Storms by Brittany Cherry. Those are the only 2 indie books that I got. I got 2 books by Lisa Kleypas. So I got Someone to Watch Over Me, and this one has a step back. Gorgeous. Where Dreams Begin, also with a step back. I got 3 Johanna Lindsey, Prisoner of My Desire with the step back, The Air with the step back. I already own this, but not with the step back, so I will unhaul that and keep this one. A Loving Scoundrel with a step back, and those are all of the books that I paid for like full price with, that were not in the bargain section. Moving on to the bargain books, I got To Desire a Devil by Elizabeth Hoyt with a step back. These 2 by Christina Dodd. These reminded me of Bridgerton for some reason. Rules of Engagement, and then this is the step back. I think it's really cool. Rules of Attraction. I think these are books 3 and 4 in a series. A Scot Is Not Enough by Gianna Conkle. The Tiger Prince by Iris Johnson with a step back. Hunting for a Highlander. This does not have a step back. It's like one of these ones. I own a few in this series, but I don't remember which ones they are. A Dangerous Man by Rosemary Rogers with a step back. One Night with You by Sophie Jordan, no step back. Dark Champion by Jo Beverly, no step back. When We Meet Again by Victoria Alexander with a step back. A Belated Bride by Karen Hawkins. Trapped in Scandal by Jane Feather. The Spitfire by Bertrice Small. To Love Again by Bertrice Small. Darling Jasmine by Bertrice Small. When a Marquess Chooses a Bride by Ella Quinn. The Art of Sinning by Sabrina Jeffries. Temptation and Surrender by Stephanie Lawrence with a step back. For the Roses by Julie Garwood. Pleasure for Pleasure by Eloisa James with a step back. And the last book I got is Wild as Love by Eloisa James with a step back. I fear I may have overdone it. It's Wednesday, my dudes. I have not read today. I didn't read again yesterday after I got home from the bookstore. And then when I got home from the bookstore, my grandma was like, I want to go. So guess where we're going? We're going back to the bookstore so I could take my grandma. With that being said, I'm not sure how much I'm going to be reading today. I just hauled a lot of books. So I gotta get to reading. However, reading and collecting are 2 different things. Obviously, I hope to read all of the books that I've purchased, but that's not going to happen. One can only hope, but I will certainly try. There are also a few books that I was eyeballing yesterday that I didn't get, so I'm going to get them today. I totally bought more books today at the bookstore, a lot more. So there's that. But I also finished Where We Started, 5 stars. Loved it. Loved it so much. The twist at the end, the second chance romance. There's just something about a childhood friends to lovers to lose their way to second chance romance that just really does it for me. I eat them up every single time. I love them, love them, love them. The spice was incredible. Plot was incredible, in my opinion. I highly recommend. Really loved it. The audio was amazing. And speaking of audios, I just downloaded Wild Love's audiobook by Elsie Silver, so I think I'm going to start that today. Hello, it's Sunday. I haven't sat down to record in a minute. Since then, I have finished 2 books. I finished Wild Love by Elsie Silver. Loved it so much. The audio was perfection. I really enjoyed the unique twist to like a single dad romance. So Ford, the hero, he gave up his spicy bits to make some money so he can go to a concert. Fast forward 12 years, a girl shows up on his doorstep and is like, I'm your daughter. From that spicy. So I think it's an IVF baby. Ford is her biological father, and her dad died. Her mom's going through a bit of a depression, so she goes to Ford for help. Ford immediately is like connected to her and offers the hand to help her. And our heroine, Rosalind, she is from Rose Hill. She moved away to pursue like a big girl job, whatever. She finds herself in this work position where it's super uncomfortable. Her boss basically SAs her. She's fired from that job. She moves back to her small town and is in need of a job. And what better way to offer expertise in her career point than to work with Ford, because he is also in the business and he runs a recording studio. She gets on board anyway, so now she works for Ford, but also she is his best friend's little sister, so a bit forbidden in that aspect because of that element. And then also it is a boss relationship, but she also forms a really strong bond with Ford's daughter, Cora. And it was just, despite the darker-ish elements, and I don't even want to say darker, but being essayed by her boss, this was a very light and fluffy read for me, at least. And I just really loved that this is low stakes, just a good feel-good romance. And let's be honest, Ford is perfection. Loved that so much. And then the other book that I finished is Devil of Dublin by B.B. Easton. This is my first book by B.B. Easton, and I loved this book so much. I don't think I've read a book like this. I don't know. This starts out with them as children, and we get to see their bond form and their relationship form. The heroine is American, but she's visiting her grandfather in Ireland, and her grandpa tells her this story, this really cute story about fairies and all this other stuff. She's out playing in the woods, and then she meets this fairy. It happens to be the hero. He's like this feral little boy. They're both little, but he is just really broken and beaten down and has had a really rough and hard life, and he's kind of running away from that. When he goes to the woods, that is his place to, I guess, catch his breath, you know? So she comes, and then they form this relationship, this really cute relationship. He's mute by choice because of the abuse and the trauma that he has been through, but she's like, la la la, like, just, you know, she's the sunshine that he needs, but she's only there visiting, so she leaves, and then they come back almost every year to visit, and she of course visits him. But then there happens to be a very long period of time where she does not come back. He's of course upset about this. He feels abandoned. She would love to go, but she's a child, she's a teenager, she can't go. Well, then it fast forwards later on. Now they're adults, they're 21 and 22, or 20 and 22, something like that. She goes to seek him out. He's no longer there. She goes back to her fiance. Her fiance abuses her. He followed her, and he knows that, and so he, like, yeah, wild, wild, wild. This is dark. It's mafia-esque. He is not like the top dog. He's the underdog. He kind of got worked up in this world where he, I think, is a pew pew runner. At least that's what he was doing whenever he comes across the heroine again. He's like going to deliver pew pews to a different mafia. That doesn't happen. And now he's like tussled. There's so much action in this after that. I really enjoyed seeing their bonds as children and then growing up. Like, I'm obsessed with childhood friends to lovers. And then this was also really special and unique in the way that they have both been abused and they have been through so much trauma that they're very respectful of each other. They're very careful of not over pushing boundaries and really trying to heal what had been done to them with new touch. And I was not expecting all of that out of this book. I was expecting like more of like your traditional mafia. And that wraps up this week's reading vlog. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will also get around to posting my book haul that I got for this week, because I never showed the second round of books that I got from the second round of the bookstore trip that I had went on. So keep an eye out for that. This video is going to be uploaded before those, so I will link it afterwards. I look forward to hanging out in our next week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.